Welcome, Night Wanderer. Today's nightmare takes place similar to where we left our last victim. The woods, a sanctuary for some, and a labyrinth of dark possibilities for others. I, Elle Poland, will be your traveling companion this evening. Come, wander with me. Location: originally dreamt by Elle Poland. My phone pings at 12:05 a.m. It takes me a moment to register the noise. It takes another minute for my head to jerk up right off the pillow, because the sound of my phone is off. I always switch it to vibrate before bed. My eyes take a moment to adjust. The screen still glows with a soft blue light, verifying that I did indeed receive a notification. I blink and see the circular purple and white symbol of the Find Me app. My head feels fuzzy. Has the app ever sent me a notification in the middle of the night? I reach out a hand and scoop the device from the end table. I input the 4-digit code, which just so happens to be my dog's birthday, and I wait for the full picture to appear. I don't want to look at my background photo, so I quickly pull down the notifications with my thumb, then click on the circle from Find Me. A map appears around a bubble picture of my face. The picture is old, but I've never bothered to change it. This is my family link. I can see my parents are at home, most likely asleep considering the time. My sister rests high in Bellevue. She and her husband opened a business up there. She's also home and probably sleeping. Unless she's working late on some new confection for her shop. I don't see movement around her bubble, however. My brother's bubble isn't visible, but he's on vacation in Hawaii with his family, and I'd have to scroll out to see him. I usually do, just to check that his face is still bouncing around in what looks like the middle of the ocean. Checking on them at night is a comfort, I guess. If they were looking for my location, they'd see me deep in the woods on the Olympic Peninsula of western Washington. Seeing my little bubble so far from my parents and sister makes me feel a little wave of guilt. But I had to get away. As I expand the screen, I pause as movement from the top corner catches my eye. When I see the bubble, my heart pauses. My fingers feel cold, and I almost drop my phone. I added my fiancé to my family link when we got engaged. Joseph proposed out here. He asked in front of a waterfall, which may sound boring or overdone, but it really was beautiful. And so, us. My sister took the pictures. One of them is my background photo. The problem is, Joseph died. He died in a hiking accident over a month ago. I can still see the rangers in my mind. One of them was a friend of ours, Thomas. He pats my back while I watch Patrick crying. I can feel my whole world move beneath my feet, but I stand perfectly still. I watch the bubble of his handsome face move as though he's pacing. The smaller circle, revealing the method of travel, shows up like a little pair of white sneakers. My hands shake as I use my thumb and pointer finger to zoom in. I feel a strangled cry building inside my larynx as though it's wrestling with my tongue. A loud bark makes me drop the phone. It slides from a smooth comforter for a soft crash to the rug covering the wooden floor beneath the bed. It sits face down. "Vetter!" I cry as my large brown and white boxer stares up at me, confused by my outburst. I scramble to the rug to pick up my phone. I can hardly hold the damn thing as I try to press my thumb into it for identification. It refuses to register, and I enter the code with Vetter's birthday again. The screen flashes to life, and I quickly press the Find Me app. I hold my breath as my family's bubbles reappear. Joseph's is gone. I scroll out slowly, away from Washington State. I notice my brother's bubble in the middle of the ocean, but really in Hawaii. I release the air in my lungs that has quickly become carbon monoxide, and I watch the screen for a few more minutes. then click it off. Vetter whimpers as he tries to climb in my lap. He's too big for that, but he still thinks he's a puppy. Tears start, and I fight hard against them. I haven't processed Joseph's death. I know I haven't. Patrick's family owns the cabin, and he insisted I stay here rent-free for as long as I'd like. He feels responsible for Joseph's death. That's why he wants this to help so bad. I can't grasp the concept of never seeing Joseph again. I keep waiting for him to walk through my front door, teasing grin firmly in place. He never will. On the verge of a hard cry, I realize Vetter's paws are wet. He's soaked the pants of my pajamas. What the hell? Vetter looks at me plaintively as I pick up his back paws. Damp, wet up to his ankle. Oh no, what did you do? Forcing my feelings into a hard ball in the pit of my stomach, I wipe my face and get off the floor. I can hear rain pattering against the window panes and skylights of the cabin. I know Vetter couldn't have gotten outside, because I locked up before bed. He must have gotten into something. He can't have peed or it would smell. Where could he have found water? An irreverent stream of cursing escapes me as I follow the trail of wet paw prints. I don't realize how loud the rain sounds until I come to the opening room. The front door is open. My mouth drops in surprise as I take in the darkened steps of the rustic porch. It's slick with rain that looks black in the dark. I've locked the door every night I've been here. I never forget, and I always leave the porch light on. Either it's gone out, or someone turned it off. I stand frozen for a time until a spike of fear propels me forward. I shut the door quickly, fumbling as I lock it. The noise of the rain muffles, but the blood in my ears doesn't. My heart is pounding, and I can feel a pressure building in my temples. I don't own a gun. It isn't any kind of stance. I just don't. I wasn't raised around guns, and my parents didn't care for hunting. I know this bothered my grandfather when we were little, but my parents always laughed it off. I know there is a gun here, somewhere, because Patrick told me about it and asked if I knew how to shoot. I lied and told him I did. The Olympic Peninsula, depending on how far out you go, can be very remote. But I'm not sure why so many people picture the woods as some haunting place where one would perish easily. You can perish if you aren't careful on a hike or do something extreme, like hardcore camping without the proper equipment and preparation. But there aren't murderers hiding on every trail with a chainsaw. People have to remember these are difficult places to reach. If you don't have access to transportation, resilient clothing, or food, you really can't get very far. You don't have a lot of restaurant options, and most of the ones surviving jack up the prices because of the fact it isn't the place a serial killer would hide out, or a vagabond hopped up on pills. That's why there are 100 more crimes in densely populated areas like cities. If you get killed out here, you most likely brought the perpetrator with you. Maybe I'm reminding myself of these facts to make myself feel better? Jeez, I know I am. I've never felt unsafe out here. Until now. Vetter whimpers at my back. I turn to look at him. If someone were here, he would know, right? He isn't acting scared, more upset at my behavior. The lights aren't out. I flick on the porch light to make sure. A soft yellow glow fills the rainbow-shaped panes of glass at the top of the door, along with the living room and kitchen windows. The porch runs the entire length of the front of the cabin. Could I have forgotten to lock the door? Did I turn out the porch light? Ever since Joseph's death, I've been doing everything by muscle memory. I function, only because I can't sit still. Sitting makes everything too real. If I move, I can pretend he's coming home. But I'm not home. Could that be a problem? Was coming out here too drastic? I should call Mom and Dad, right? I look at Better. His tongue slips out as he pads closer to me. He isn't whining anymore, but he's upset we aren't in bed. Did I leave the door open? Did I not shut it all the way and you nudged it to get out? Why would I turn the porch light off? Or did I never turn it on? He doesn't answer. Okay, I say to the cabin at large. I'm going to bed now. My dog is sweet, but he loves me. Come in there and you'll be sorry. Unless you have a gun, I think privately. Then I might die. Despite my declaration, I head to the silver box filled with human beings' favorite comfort. The fridge is a hefty thing. My own could probably cuddle up inside one whole side of this. Its left door shimmers in perfect gray steel, while the other glimmers in dark glass. Patrick showed me how to knock on the glass to light it up from the inside. The usefulness of this was a bit lost on me at first, but I slipped into the habit easier than I anticipated. I give a soft but firm knock and look at the dwindling contents of the fridge in a sickly hospital white glow. I'm almost out of salsa. Damn. And I will need milk soon. I haven't said when I'm going home, and no one's asked yet. I keep telling myself I will when the groceries are out. I have refilled the fridge twice. Vetter nudges my legs, and I knock to turn the light back out. I'm not even hungry. I start to follow him. I'm 5 steps from the fridge when I hear a soft tap-tap behind me. I turn back sharply, startling Vetter into a timid bark. I stare hard at the point I just left, my heart thumping somewhere between my throat and lungs. The soft fridge light shines out into the darkened kitchen, pooling on the floor like spilled milk. Hey. I don't even know where that word or sound comes from as it slips out of my mouth. I slowly make my way back to the fridge, hesitant to come face to face with the glass door. Nothing. There's nothing out of place. I wrap the thing quickly with my knuckles, and the light goes out. I stand there breathing a little too fast. I wait, make sure the light stays out. Vetter pushes his head into my knees, forcing me to lock them. I'm trying to see if the ghost knocks back. I say as though I'm not feeling spiders up my spine. Vetter eyes me curiously. After a few minutes, or possibly 10, I walk away from the kitchen. I make my way back to bed and curl into the covers as though they possess protective powers. Sleep evades me. As I turn from side to side, I keep thinking about the noise I heard before the fridge light came back on. The front door being open, the flash of seeing Joseph on the Find Me app. I tell myself to stop at least 100 times. I check my phone to see the clock sneaking towards 1 a.m. I consider playing the fruit mashing game. That's what my niece calls it. But I know it will only push my insomnia into overdrive. As I lay my head back down, a soft ping rings through the room. I freeze. I felt the vibration with the sound against my upper thigh, having put the phone in my pocket. Vetter ignores it, with his large body pressed against my back. He's getting my sheets wet with his paws, but I've been washing them while staying here. I consider ignoring the ping as well, but a second buzz against my leg prompts me to pull it out. It's Find Me, and it's telling me Joseph's phone battery is low. I get up quicker this time, gripping the device as though if I drop it again, the message will disappear. My thumbprint miraculously works after I click the purple message. The map reappears with the battery warning in a text box below. Joseph is running? The little sneakers now show minuscule puffs of smoke to indicate the action. Tears slide down my trembling cheeks. I close my eyes. Joseph's father has his phone. He turned it off when it was returned to him after the accident. He isn't out here running through empty forests in the dead of night. But we did bury Joseph out here. We buried him in the place we both loved so he would be here. Always. so that when I came here, now alone, I could feel close to him. Maybe Michael, Joseph's father, is out here? Maybe he was at Joseph's grave. That doesn't explain this. Michael is overweight. He's as cuddly as a teddy bear, with as much girth as a grizzly. But he can't run, let alone sprint enough to make the app put smoke around his sneakers. When I look back at the phone, the bubble has vanished once more. A strangled laugh of hysteria is trapped in my throat. I could try to call my parents, but the Wi-Fi is sketchy. I usually have to sit on a corner of the porch outside to get any decent service. Not really an option in the dark in the middle of the woods. It's malfunctioning, I whisper to the room, and better. We came here before, and he loved to run. It's picking up some old signal. I scroll into the mapped area where I swore his bubble had been. City and street names pop onto the screen with each outward pinch. I can't be positive where the bubble was before I scrolled in, but the towns are far from it. It looks like he was running through the whole rainforest. Stupid. I turn the screen off, almost angrily. I'm not doing this. I swing myself off the bed and head for the bathroom. I turn on the light and start the bath in a sort of blind rage. My emotions are chaotic and grief. Sometimes I'm furious, despondent, or any other number of extremes. I don't want therapy. I don't want drugs. I don't want the vacation my boss insisted I take. I don't want all the things everyone says will help. I struggle to open a pink bath bomb. My sister sent them with me. She makes them in her shop. Does she have to shrink wrap the damn things so they are as hard to access as a pill bottle? With a grunt of frustration, I grab one of my nail files to open it, shoving it through one of the weaker parts of the plastic. I push hard to tear it. The bomb halfway shatters across my chest as the thing bursts open. A strong smell of candy, pomegranate, and raspberries fills the room as I curse worse than a sailor. Steam is building in the bath, and I throw the intact half of the ball into the water. Then I try to dust the rest off the front of my pajamas. Pink foam builds across the surface, and the sweet scents intertwine more deeply in the air. Vetter creeps into the doorway to watch me. He puts his sweet face on the floor. I'm fine, I lie as I strip down. It's all right, buddy. I climb over the rather tall side and into the tub. I can feel the soap from the bath bomb against my legs as I position myself to sit. Before I do, something else slides past my left ankle. I fall out of the water so fast I slip on the tile floor. Vetter releases loud, terrified barks as I fall hard on my side. I don't feel the pain of the fall until I've scrambled for a towel and flung myself against the bathroom door. My whole body is shaking as hot needles run across my hips, spine, and shoulder. I'm breathing as though I almost drowned in the pink-stained water. Vetter continues barking at the still-running faucet. I stand up slowly, unwilling to put my hand into the thick water. I force myself to turn the spout off. Foam bubbles across the surface while the salts pop, akin to freshly poured milk over Rice Krispies. It's okay, Vetter, I whisper. His barks are turning my nerves to shredded cabbage. In one swift movement, I pull the plug from the soapy depths of the water. Nothing touches me as I jerk my hand back to my chest. What will I do if there's something in the bathtub? It was empty when I started filling it. I know that. But what if there's something in there now? How did it get in? What could possibly slip into the tub from the finely grated faucet? My mind conjures eels, worms, any number of creepy crawlies as I watch the pink swirls dwindle. Empty. The tub is empty. Laying back down in the slightly raised metal bed, I curl into myself until I'm sure I'm nothing more than a ball of fear. I could drive home. I could leave now. Why don't I leave now? Because it's pitch dark? Because I'd have to run through that darkness to get to my car? Vetter would protect me, but what if something happened to him? What if he got attacked and I lost him? There could be any number of things out there. Bears, wolves. We don't have tigers, but I bet a cougar would still elicit an oh my. What if I lose one of the only things left in my life that tether me to sanity? Because I've had a couple of confusing moments? What do I believe is happening? I could take a sleeping pill or one of my anxiety medications, but that also frightens me. What if I whack out only to find there really is something here with me? Getting into a medically induced high to reach dawn feels very stupid. I hug my poor dog, who is probably sick of me, but he cuddles back. His warmth is a huge comfort. He would know if someone was here. He'll protect me, if he can. I don't know how I fall asleep, but my dreams are full of corners and darkness. When the pounding starts, I believe it's my dream. I wake, and it takes several disoriented minutes to realize Vetter is missing. The pounding at the front door is still going strong, and my dog is nowhere to be seen. Where's the gun? Where did Patrick tell me it was? I don't know how to use it, but maybe I've seen enough movies to figure it out. I want to scream for Vetter, but my throat feels as though rough, torn rags have been jammed into my trachea. I'm already struggling to breathe. I feel like the noise from across the cabin is shaking the entire foundation. The pounding stops, along with my heart. I feel the silence and my body freeze into painful glassy shards, as though I'm feeling the physical breaking of my sanity. When I release the air I've been holding in, it sounds offensively loud. Where is that damn gun? My phone pings. I look down at the bed where it's sitting and see the Find Me app glowing. I don't know if I entered Vetter's birthday or used my thumb, but seconds later I'm watching Joseph's bubble run towards my location. He's not far. I place the phone on the side table and walk to the hallway. Vetter, I call softly. Vetter, come here, boy. Come back, please. I can't hear his padding feet or noisy breaths. The cabin is split into 3 parts. The open front containing the kitchen and living room, the bedroom and master bath tucked into the right corner, and a back hallway with large windows running from ankle height to ceiling. The windows are curved in a bow across the top, so the sky can be seen. The pantry, deep freezer, and coat closet lay at the other end. So does the gun. It's incredibly dark in the hallway. If you've ever been camping in a place with little to no light pollution, you'll understand. The dark can't hurt me. This is the same cabin I've been staying in during the day. I know this hall. It's a quick walk. I contemplate using my phone as a flashlight, but I don't want to look at it right now. There's a light switch on the other end. I'll be quick. I scurry like a mouse in every sense of the phrase. I'm halfway when bright light crashes through the large windows. A startled half gasp, half scream freezes me in place. I panic, like an idiot, for several seconds. My pupils feel as though they've turned to pinpricks in the sudden onslaught, pierced with abrupt illumination. I blink furiously in confused bewilderment. Then I remember the floodlights. The backyard has floodlights. They turn on with movement. But my rush across the hall wouldn't have activated them. Something outside did. Don't look, I tell myself stupidly, knowing full well that I absolutely will look. What if it's Vetter out there? I turn not only my head, but my entire body towards the glass. I half expected to find shattered remains, but the windows are intact. Light couldn't really damage them. It only felt offensive in its swift arrival. The light penetrates only as far as the line of dark evergreens. It's pretty clear behind the cabin, mostly dirt patches aside from a humble fire pit. The windows are spotless and clear, making me feel as though I'm actually standing in that vast, empty space. It's not nice to look at in the middle of the night, at least not for me. Maybe some people enjoy an ocean of darkness rising up in the distance like a tsunami wave frozen in time. I don't. And the idea that my fiance is running through that forest after being buried in it makes it far worse. I tell myself to move, to get the shotgun, but I'm stuck. The light is so bright, it feels as though it's interrogating the backyard, and I must play out the role of good cop or bad. It's my job to use the ability the light provides, the gift of sight. Maybe the view is nicer on the porch, but I'm sure as hell not going outside to find out. The light clicks out and the windows go dark. It could have been a forest animal. It could have been a raccoon, a squirrel. I want it to be better, but I also don't want him to be running outside in the dark. I'm telling myself he's in the kitchen or the living room. Maybe he got tired of sleeping next to me, because that's ever happened. The vast darkness of the world feels physical as I stand there, nervous to move. I can open my eyes as wide as they can go, and I can't see anything. Not the outline of a tree or any sort of distinction. It's pure blackness. It looks like a massive wall moving towards you, even if your logical mind knows it can't. I look up to see a sky full of stars between slippery wisps of retreating rain clouds. But I don't see the moon. I'm almost dizzy from the view. The light flares into place as my eyes fall in the shadow of something darting from the tree line. Something that doesn't look anything like a dog, because it's standing upright. I scream. I think I'm still screaming as I run for the deep freezer. Maybe I'm crying. My fingers don't feel right as I fumble with the closet doors, as though I've forgotten how to grasp things. I tug them open and find a shotgun hanging like a coat on a peg. Okay, I mutter as I grab it from the wall. Now what? I look around earnestly. As Patrick mentioned where the bullets were, I didn't pay attention. No matter how hard I rush my brain to conjure the memory, there isn't one. I stand on tiptoe to peek at the highest shelf and see a plain brown cardboard box. I grasp it, only to pull down a loosely packed deluge of light bulbs. 2 shatter against the floor, and I struggle away with the shotgun in my hand like an oar for a boat I don't have. I can't tell myself to calm down anymore. I'm finding my dog and I'm leaving. Whatever hellscape I've slipped into, I'm leaving. I force myself to move to the front of the cabin, where I pray my dog is. The fridge light is on, and the front door is open. I hold the shotgun as though I have it loaded. I'm shaking so badly it sounds like I'm grasping a rattlesnake. I walk to the fridge, but before I can see the glass door, the light goes out. I think I'm crying, but I'm not sure. I can feel wetness on my cheeks. Vetter isn't here, but I also know he isn't in the fridge. He isn't. How could he be? As though I planned it, which I didn't. I reach out and knock gently on the dark glass surface. I drop the gun. Screams pour from my mouth as I look at the twisted body of the thing inside the fridge. I run from the room just as a bloodied hand reaches to knock back. I think I scream for Vetter, possibly Joseph, my parents, my brother, and sister. I slam the door to the little bedroom and lock it as I choke on terrified sobs. It's a mental break, I cry as I scramble for my phone. It's a mental break. That's all. I open it with a wet, shaking hand, thumb slippery against the screen. I click on the phone icon and then the keypad. I dial 911, putting the phone to my ear. I see the backlight turn on through the closed curtains of the small room. I ignore any impulse to go to the window as I wait for the line to ring. It doesn't. I close my eyes as I continue to wait. A double beep lets me know the call failed. Shit! I pull the phone away from my head and redial. The light is still glowing softly behind the curtain. I beg the cellular service gods and the old Christian one for the call to go through. 2 beeps, and I know it hasn't. I'll have to go to the porch. I should go to the porch. I need to find my dog. If something happened to him, I can't think about that. Vetter is fine. He got outside, but he's not a small dog. He can defend himself if needs be. I don't know how the door keeps getting opened, but it isn't a ghost. The thing I saw in the fridge, outside, they aren't real. I saw a shrink before I came out here. Just once before I quit. Out of all the useless tools she tried to hand me, one made sense. My mind is fragile. I suffered a huge, sudden loss. This is just a break. That's all. I can drive myself out of here. I know I can. I'm not crazy. I'm in mourning. The pounding wasn't real. None of this is real. A ping from my phone lets me know Joseph will arrive at my location in 10 minutes. I dress myself, making sure to put on warm clothes. I double my socks. I continue to tell myself it will be all right. I will be all right. Vetter will be all right. And we're going home. This could be my brain telling me it's time to go home. Maybe it made the cabin scary, haunted, so I could go home. There's no real reason for this place to be haunted. Patrick's family has owned it forever. They built it. I didn't uncover any secret stash of newspapers containing grisly tales of covered-up murders. He doesn't have a sibling who disappeared mysteriously one day. It's not built on an ancient Indian burial ground. It isn't near one. It's a boring, nothing ever happened family cabin. The light in the back clicks off. As I make my way to the porch, I think about Patrick, Joseph's best friend. He said it was an accident. The rope tore. They thought they'd checked it before heading out, but they must have missed something. He was jealous of Joseph. Jealous because I dated him first. We worked through that. We did. We moved on. Didn't we? Walking out onto the slick porch, I see the rain has stopped. Early mist is creeping slowly on the ground. The sky is turning gray, but it's still too dark to see beyond the trees enclosing the cabin. The porch light does little to alleviate the situation, but it's better than nothing. I call Patrick. 2 monotone beeps. The service is still failing. I can see my car, but I can't leave Vetter. When the call patches through, I don't realize Patrick is responding. He says hello twice, and then my name. Patrick? Patrick, I'm at the cabin. I need help. Something's wrong with me, and I can't find Vetter or the shotgun shells. What? I can't. He's missing. I woke up. You're breaking up. Call who? Thomas? 2 beeps. Patrick sounded scared. I remember how much he cried after Joseph's death. He's right, though. Thomas is closer, and he's a ranger. Do I have his number? Or was that in Joseph's phone? The darkness isn't moving in on me. I know that, as my trembling fingers attempt to scroll for Thomas Felt. He's here. I have his number. I click on it and put the phone against my ear. A tinkling noise sparks in the distance, somewhere behind the cabin. It rings in sync with dull tones in my phone. I dart back inside, but everything goes dark. The porch light, the light above the stove in the kitchen, and the dim glow from the hallway leading to the bedroom. I stand, petrified. The darkness is pure and thick as deep water. My breaths come in broken gasps as I release myself to every terrified feeling. A small tap-tap lights the fridge. The glass bursts, but the light remains. A dark mass climbs out between jagged shards of shaded glass. I look to the door as the porch light flickers on. Someone is standing in the driveway. My body won't move. I'm screaming inside my head, but my body isn't responding. I can hear the thing from the fridge pulling itself up, like it's unfolding. The clacks sound like plastic snapping into place as it straightens. I can't look directly at it, but I can see it in the corner of my vision. My phone pings and a smooth automated voice lets me know the person I've been tracking on Find Me has arrived. I drop the phone as the shadow creature from the fridge moves in front of me. It's me. She's me. I blink at the girl, stunned by the brutality of her injuries. But I know. Patrick didn't kill Joseph. Thomas did. Someone is breaking into the back of the cabin. I look back to the front and see the silhouette of the man. A dog is with him. I look into my own broken face. I understand now. I understand what happened to Joseph and what's going to happen to me. She is the body I can stay in, but she will be broken and killed. She's offering to do it without me. Let me go with Joseph and Better, my two great loves. She walks back to the bedroom, and I walk to the window. Joseph is still there, with Vetter at his side. I smile at them, pleased to know I still can smile. I've made my choice. I'm going to go with Joseph. After all, he came all this way to get me. Night Wanderings is written by L. Poland, directed and produced by Silas Reynolds. This story was read for you by L. Poland. Art and images by Jesse Brett Davidson. Theme and music credit to the song Anxiety, written and performed by On Deaf Ears, otherwise known as the band Chloe. All rights reserved.